and watching out for you, and Mike just mentioned it, and maybe January, fire danger is still a very real possibility, and after a historic year for wildfires across our state, fire officials and members of the U.S. Forest Service, they're already preparing for the worst. News 5's Patrick Nelson shows us why fire danger this year already a concern.
One of the common themes I heard as I spoke with forest and fire officials is this idea that right now in Colorado, fire season is a year-round threat. There are many reasons for that. News 5 meteorologist Sam Schreier helped to put Colorado's 2020 wildfires into perspective and why we might be set up for another historic year in 2021.
We had 1,078 fires reported, and we had about 625,000 acres burned. If you put all the area that burned in 2020 in one spot, it would have burned all the way through Colorado Springs, surrounding towns, Fort Carson, and then even a little bit farther back into Teller County. If in 2020 we burned an area as big as the Pikes Peak region, we know we're already in a drought again. We've continued that drought from last year when we had all these fires. Unless some sort of big snow happens in March, April, we're in a La Nina pattern. That's not overly likely. We'll probably continue this drought again, which would mean the forests are going to be set up to be very dry once again.
Those dry conditions, coupled with invasive species like bark beetles, are killing trees and turning them into more fuel for quick-moving and massive wildfires. I spoke with one of the leaders of the Rocky Mountain Regional Office of the United States Forest Service, who says on top of natural threats, the growing population in Colorado means more opportunities for mistakes in man-made fires.
With the COVID situation from the past year, it seemed to push a lot more people out into the woods, out onto the national forests. Our law enforcement officers had a say in an observation that every day was like a weekend and every weekend was like the 4th of July.
U.S. Forest Service officials tell me work has already started to see what kind of mitigation techniques can be used to try to eliminate some of the dead trees and wildfire fuel that make for such large events. In response to the historic wildfires we saw in Colorado in 2020, Governor Jared Polis says he wants to invest more into relief, mitigation, and prevention of these wildfires. He's budgeting $78 million for this effort. Always watching out for you. Patrick Nelson, News 5.